This meeting is being recorded.
Hello and welcome to this podcast edition of Sam's Alternatives with me, Sam, episode 9. I'll be chatting to Luca, also Ben and Jason from All Monsters Are Human. Just jumping on a few minutes early just to chat about a few things because there's been a lot happening in the last week or so. Lots of new releases in the last week. We've had All Monsters Are Human, funnily enough, with their new single, Subconscious Soldier. Clay J. Gladstone, Rise from Ashes, Contact Sport, among other bands that have dropped new music. This week alone, huge releases coming out from Architects, Body Prison, Forklift Assassins, Identity Error, Discord, among others. We've got a few gigs happening this weekend, of course. Carly Jewel, Rise from Ashes and Engraved at Scotty's Garage on Friday night in Seaford. Then Saturday night, that exact same gig, this time at the Workers Club in Melbourne. We've also got King's Vengeance will be playing a gig in Melbourne on Saturday the 8th of March. We've also got the gig the 7th of March. It's Rautism, Forklift Assassins and Black Rainbow at Mr. Boogeyman Bar. So there's a whole heap happening, heaps of interviews happening in the coming weeks as well. Space Goat, also we've got No Life, Decimator, New Age, we've got Product of Neglect, Storm the Crown, Cypher, Black Moth, OCD Band, we've got Forklift Assassins later in the year, Disgust. There's a whole heap happening, which is awesome. Love supporting the live music scene and the local music scene. Also, I've just hit over 11,500 views total of my podcast from the 8 episodes. Thank you to everyone that shared it, streamed it, liked, commented, shared. It really means the world to me. So much happening in 2025. I am booked out until 2026 with my podcasts. So, yeah, I would love to have people on, but we'll have to wait till 2026. Obviously, there'll be a cancellation list if anyone has the unfortunate thing of having to postpone or they're sick or gig on that night. But yeah, plenty of spots free in 2026. All right, Luca is in the lobby, so we'll get this interview with All Monsters Are Human, who has, of course, dropped Subconscious Soldier on Friday, which is only 3 or 4 days ago, and I'll let him in now. Just waiting. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, guys, how we going?
What's going on?
How you doing, mate?
Not much. Perfect reception on your end. I can see your faces clearly. I don't know if you want to see my face though, but anyway.
No, we can see you. We can see you. All good.
Clear as day.
Yeah, and your audio on your end is perfect. I can hear you clear as day as well. So.
Sick.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
So I better introduce these three gentlemen because people watch the video and go, Sam's talking to a bunch of strangers, but it's actually not the truth. It's Luca, Jason, and of course Ben from Melbourne Metalcore band All Monsters Are Human. And this is a bit of a coincidence that it's 3 days after you dropped Subconscious Soldier. So it's almost fitted in perfectly.
Yeah, we dropped that 3 days ago, and reception on it so far has been awesome. Heaps of people streaming it, heaps of people getting back to us, telling that they love the new mix, and you know, we played it live a few times, and now it's all recorded and out there for people to listen to.
And I'm a big fan of it. There was a lot of music that dropped on Friday, which sort of gave me a lot of music to listen to, which I love. But it also put me on like, all right, I actually need to take notes because I'm interviewing All Monsters Are Human 3 days after it's released. If I don't check it out and you guys say, oh, what's your thoughts? What's the vibes? I'm screwed.
Oh, what are your thoughts and vibes?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that now. I actually really dug it. Out of the 3 songs, nothing against Body Bag or The Culling, I actually think this is your best song yet.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We felt like that when we were recording it. We found a new producer named Glenn Franklin, and he's really looked after us. He really understood what we were going for with this. Little bit of rawness, like keep everything tight and in the mix, and have nothing kind of trying to kind of compete with each other, and he brought it all together to make a really nice mix.
And he creates an amazing vibe as well. He's got a really, really good studio, really good space, and it's just a place that's just awesome for creating music. It's just, yeah, we're really happy with it.
Oh,
It's
Whoa.
like we told him how we want it to sound, and he makes it possible for us. It's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
well, I think that's very important, all three messages there, because if it's a great vibe and he's doing what you want the song to sound like, I think that's very important, because that's why these people are the best at what they do.
Yeah.
100%.
And I mean, like, given what was released on Friday, if people haven't seen what was released, I mean, Saving Face, All Monsters Are Human, New Million dropped something the Thursday, Rise from Ashes. It was like one of the best days for new Aussie music this year already.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it going, man. Aussie metal. Like, let's just keep it going, keep it alive. It's just what we want. We love the scene, we love the community, we love everybody that's a part of it. And it's just, yeah, it's like home for us. You know, we just, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
And I don't want to discourage other states, but a lot of people I speak to interstate say that they wish they had the scene that Melbourne has down here.
Yeah, we're blessed. We're definitely blessed when it comes to that. But like, again too though, like, some awesome bands no matter where you go, you know, and that's the thing, is like, everybody has to be heard. Aussie metal, just gotta keep it going, because it's, you know, it's dear to all of us.
You know,
it's super dear to all of us.
You know, and we did a gig up in Albury, and I mean, it's kind of still, it's New South Wales, but still closer to the Melbourne scene. But like, the vibes up there were crazy, and it's like being out there, you know, 3 hours out of Melbourne and still having that really cool vibe. It's like, you know, this music is widespread, and it's everywhere in the state, and it's everywhere in Australia, and no matter where you go, you can find a really cool metal band. And I'm sure, like, all across Australia, there's venues that have really sick bands that'll play.
There's a lot of good talent coming out of Albury at the moment, or up that way. Archangel and Grim, Inherit Nothing, probably three of my favourites.
Yeah, well, we played that Albury gig with Grim,
Yeah.
and we played with Inherit Nothing.
And we're playing with Inherit Nothing again.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Playing with Inherit Nothing again,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. We're not going to
Oh.
give too much details just yet, but there's going to be a nice gig coming up, so that'll be good fun.
Okay. I wish people would stop telling me about these gigs to keep quiet about, because it's...
We won't tell you a date. We'll just say something's coming soon.
It's coming soon. It's in the
Oh,
works.
I like every good metal band. Don't worry, it's coming soon.
okay. It's a coming attraction, as they say.
Yeah.
It's like you go to the
Oh.
cinemas to watch the movie and then get all those coming attractions and the trailers. It's like, just get to the actual feature movie, please. So,
The
know what?
anticipation.
Yeah.
The anticipation.
It's all the build up. It's, oh, what's going to happen?
it's like you read the ticket and it says, like, running time, this session will approximately finish at 7:30. It's like, it's only a 95-minute film, and then you realise there's 25 minutes of trailers before the movie starts.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. That's it.
But it's awesome to have All Monsters Are Human on. Sadly, Kai was meant to jump on, but he's sick, which I would rather him at 100% than sick to come on an interview, so that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
But also, for those that don't know, and I don't know if this will be uploaded by the time Thursday comes around, All Monsters Are Human actually have a gig this Thursday at Last Chance with Serpentry and Electric Funeral. So,
Yeah.
you're looking
Yeah,
forward
Electric
to
Funeral is going to be their EP launch.
Yeah.
They're playing at Last Chance. So if this comes out beforehand, come on down and support us. If not, thank you all for coming.
Will it? Or I reckon I could really push it and maybe get it out this time tomorrow night. It's definitely going to be up within 48 hours, but if I actually work my ass off between the end of the interview and tomorrow morning, I reckon I could get this up by tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. No,
We'll see.
Yeah. See what happens.
Nah.
Anyone listening, stream subconscious and then come watch us tomorrow.
That's it.
Thank you. Very valid point. Jason actually is listen to their new music and then go watch them and then listen to it again.
At least
Space for it.
and you can sing along.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sadly, and it's not very often I miss an All Monsters Are Human gig. I won't be there on Thursday, unfortunately, because I'm catching up with a friend, and he's got a wedding coming up soon, so we sort of have to figure out details for that. So I'm thinking, probably need to allocate that time for that. But I have seen these guys before, 4 times, 5 times. I can't remember. It's a lot.
It's a lot of times. 4 or 5 times, we've had a chat after the gig.
Yeah. I reckon I saw you guys for the first time, and actually, funnily enough, Kai wasn't part of the band back then at Melbourne Mondays a couple of years ago. I think that was your first gig.
Yeah.
That was with Jupiter the Giant.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick from Earthcaller's other band. That's right.
Nick from Earthcaller, his band.
Yep.
No, they're good blokes.
Yeah.
That was actually quite a while ago.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh, you've unlocked the core memories.
My brain's actually functioning pretty well at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. It doesn't generally.
No, look, I'm right there with you.
I think we all are.
We've just been practicing and writing and kind of getting stuff done. So it's been a bit of a loud afternoon, but it's always fun.
It looks like it's going to be an awesome gig on Thursday night. Last Chance is actually a pretty good venue. Good food, anyway.
Yeah, we've played there a couple of times, and it's always good to get up there. It sounds good.
It does sound good,
Yeah,
it does, yeah.
It's
a good stage. And even just having a bunch of people down there just jumping around, it's just the perfect vibe for it, perfect venue for it.
Unless you get stuck in the carpet. That's my only negative of Last Chance.
Don't take your shoes off.
Yeah, keep your shoes off.
Keep your shoes off.
I went to a gig there on Saturday. I was like, I'll stay at the back. Let's see if it's any better up the back with the stickiness. I think it's actually worse near the audio guy. So
you can't stand still at Last Chance. You've got to move around, otherwise your shoes get stuck. Good excuse to keep dancing to the music.
That's it.
That's the one, definitely. But it is a nice venue. Good food, as I said. Good location. Very easy to get to from Flinders Street. I walk it 9 times out of 10 because I get there so early. So
it's a good location if you're driving in. Plenty of car parks. Plenty of beers on tap, so make sure you get in early and you grab a beer and watch all the bands.
That's it.
It's very important, that last point, actually. See all the bands. Don't go for the last band. Do go for Electric Funeral, but actually pay the $20 or whatever it is and see all 3 bands.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good night. And those boys at Electric Funeral, we've played so many times with them. We
vibe with them.
Big time.
Yeah, they're really good. As soon as we got the message from them, we're like, hell yeah, we're playing with you.
We don't care the day, we don't care the time, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
And a Thursday night, it's sort of near the end of the week as well. I feel like it's a better night to have a gig on than, say, a Tuesday night where it's sort of the middle of the week and people are still got to work Wednesday. Most people work Fridays, I obviously realise that, but...
Yeah, everyone doesn't mind going to work seedy on a Friday because they know they're going to knock off early and get beers anyway.
That's it.
But, of course, the interview with All Monsters Are Human. Why do I keep saying it's an interview? It's a chat. Everyone says you need to take the interview part out of it and just say a general chat, I think, is the best way to put it. Because half the time
we're just chatting.
We're just talking shit.
We're just talking crap.
Actually,
we talk nonsense.
as I just pointed out there, swearing is okay because I'm a culprit for it. So
okay, don't let us
It's fucking beautiful.
Oh, fuck this swearing. No.
I've been holding it in for so much. That's probably why I'm being awkward, because I can't swear. Now that you told me I can, I'm just going to stand over there somewhere.
Well, you've got a long way to get to beat last guest's swearing, because I reckon if I put a swear jar next to my microphone for that episode, I would have been rich. I reckon it was every second or third word. I'm like, if I had a swear jar, I would never have to work another day in my life.
Oh, that's so funny.
Hello to Brad from Nuclear Vision. If you're watching this, please don't ridicule me if you watch this after it's uploaded. But of course, yeah, it's just a general chat. I'll put up a Spotify playlist on either tomorrow or Thursday, and all 3 songs, including Subconscious Soldier, will actually feature in that playlist. So it's just local bands and artists. Serpentry are on there, Electric Funeral, All Monsters Are Human, Vault Hill, you name it. Anyone, well, not anyone in the scene, but 90% of the scene would have their music in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. But there's always bands you miss in those lists. So I just think for so long, I actually didn't have Electric Funeral in any of the Spotify playlists. So like, why haven't I got Electric Funeral in there?
Got to get them in there.
Yeah, man.
Got to do it. They're just crazy metal. Like,
Yeah, they're like
absolute beasts.
Yeah,
It's absolute beasts.
real thrashy,
Yeah.
and seeing them live is such a great experience. They're all got so much energy. They play so tight. They interact with the crowd so well. It's I can't say enough things about them live and them as a band and just them as people. They're easy to get along with. Go have a chat with them. They love to talk.
Yeah. 100%.
As all metal bands do. Some of the, especially Melbourne bands, I've noticed. Sorry to
Because
throw
we're
you under
all,
the
we're
bus
all in
there.
the trenches together. We're all in the trenches together. So it's just like, got to have that, like, we all have that respect for each other, which is actually really good.
Yeah.
It's not as competitive as you would think it would.
No,
really
yeah.
be, which is,
I mean, everybody that we've played with, it's not to say that there aren't bands that are a bit arrogant, but everybody that we've played with has been wonderful and supportive, and everybody wants to help each other out, and everybody vibes to each other's music. And as soon as you get off stage, you got 20 people coming up to you saying, "Great set, good on you. You guys sound sick." So everybody's there to support each other. We all know that a good scene is healthy for all bands. So when people stop coming, at least we're each other's fans.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. That's so good.
And I think as Lucas said then, I think there are obviously people in the scene, bands I won't name drop, and I haven't come across any yet, but I have heard stories that there are bands that are sort of got that ego about them that they don't help out the bands that are on their lineup, or they just stick to themselves. And I just think you're all in it for the same reason.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still pretty fresh in the scene, but so far everyone's been reaching out and been great support. Bands will be like, we're headlining this gig on this date. Can you guys come and support us? So, yeah, for us so far, it's been really great. But
Who knows?
Yeah.
There might be that bad one out there that just like don't organise anything. And we're like, what do we do? I don't even know what time do we start? Yeah.
Well, interesting what you just said then, Jason, about the bands doing shows, that are from interstate that are playing Melbourne that want to have an opening band. Last year, for those that don't know, All Monsters Are Human opened for, Disgust/Deadweight 80, because it was Mullane's last show. And I couldn't think of two nicer bands in the world than Deadweight 80 and Disgust. Like, there are nicer bands than them, but I have all the time in the world for Josh and the guys out of Deadweight. Never had an issue with Disgust. They're good guys as well. And I just think, You know, Josh, I love what Josh is doing with this Iron Jaw bookings thing. And for those that haven't actually seen, there is a gig happening at the Bendigo Hotel on the 17th of May with, funnily enough, Deadweight 80, Storm the Crown, Exodus, Furious George. It's like a killer lineup of bands. And just like, I saw the ticket link, I'm like, I'm there. You had me at Furious George. And Storm the Crown ends in tragedy, but then when you add Deadweight and nothing on there, yeah, that's a killer lineup already.
Yeah, going to be a killer lineup, and yeah, Josh is doing crazy stuff with his booking agency, and just getting bands from interstate into Melbourne and playing a good venue, but also just helping out little local bands, get on a lineup and get ourselves out there and play to a bigger audience. So he's doing really, really great work.
And even on the promotional side, like they push it really well, and like they get it to all the places for people to hear, for them to come and to see us. Because everybody just wants a chance to be able to play, and like to be able to play with bands that are great, like Disgust, Deadweight, and all those types of guys. Furious George, who we've played with countless times. Again, just like we all deserve it. It's and Josh is doing an amazing thing by helping us all out as well. Like behind the scenes, it's been an amazing time so far.
Yeah, great relationship with him. So yeah, we'll keen to work with him again.
Yes.
He's friends with Kai, which is good.
Yes, Kai and Josh are like Kyle and Josh. They're inseparable. I mean, Kyle and Josh, and if Kyle or Josh is watching this, that wasn't disrespecting them. But if you see Josh at a gig, 9 times out of 10, you'll either see Kyle or Kai or both.
Yeah. Always together.
Yeah.
Because I remember Kai saying, he's like, oh, you going to this gig that Deadweight are playing? I'm like, yeah, I'm there. He's like, yeah, I'm already there. I'm like, yeah, I know. You're obviously already there. But also the other thing, just on Josh for 1 second, is that a person, like when you're in a band, you try and support your band, but try to get as to many gigs as other bands may play in the scene. I always see Josh at a lot of gigs, which is good to see.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just showing that support even outside of his band as well. Like just for the scene itself. Yeah. Like as an individual, he's doing it and showing out, showing support, doing good by all of us. And then for Deadweight as well, like he brings it when they play. It's like a whole different animal. So like again, he's killing it at the moment, and Deadweight are killing it. Everything's looking good.
Yeah, and Josh isn't afraid to go to a local show and see a band that he likes, and then the next thing you know, they're up on stage supporting Deadweight, and he's like, yeah, let's get these guys up here. So it's like, he's going out there and he's scouting and he's finding bands and helping them push forward as well.
No, definitely. So 2 things out of this interview so far. Check out Subconscious Soldier and check out Deadweight.
Yeah.
And Disgust, actually. Sorry, before I get rid of it.
And Furious George.
And Electric Funeral.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we just sit here for the next hour and 20 minutes and just roll off every Aussie band to check out?
Yeah, Vault Hill, let's get it going.
Exactly.
Vault Hill, Starve.
Paladin,
yeah.
we keep going.
Common Evil, Ocean Sleeper, Ironstone, Rise from Ashes. All right, back into All Monsters Are Human. Not that I was not loving the chat we were having about other bands, but this is about All Monsters Are Human and a bit of the backstory. So I'll ask some questions, and at the end, Jason, Luca, and Ben have the floor. This is the fun part. The tables get turned. You guys are the interviewers. I'm the person getting asked the question. So I'll give you a bit of time to think of a couple of questions. Nothing's off limits. I've been asked some weird and wacky shit over the last 8 episodes.
Are you sure you want to give us... Are you sure you want to give us permission to ask you anything?
A little too much responsibility.
Look, after the cinema Risty question a couple of years ago on a podcast, I think that's going to be hard to top.
Care to elaborate on the cinema?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
It's been a couple of years. There's some people who haven't heard the story.
Yeah. We want to refresh that time.
Oh shit, this is going to be on YouTube, and I don't edit this sort of stuff, so this is all going to be up on YouTube, isn't it? Okay, no,
Yeah.
I haven't had a cinema Risty job. No.
Oh,
On the cards.
but it's on the card. He didn't say he didn't want it. He just
No.
says he hasn't had it.
Oh shit. No one watches YouTube. Nah.
No.
Only the or
You
second.
won't get asked this for the next 6 to 7 gigs.
I reckon this might be the interview where there is something that's asked that is more messed up than that question. I just get the feeling there might be something, maybe.
See how he's pushing at me? That's him telling me to shut up. That's the shut up. Shut your mouth.
That's Ben, please don't.
Go over there in the corner.
Oh, I should have put a rating on this, PG-13, but it's not PG-13.
It's R18.
Oh, well, if we get... Oh, well, I'm not drinking tonight, but I was going to say if I was having a few beers, we might get into some R18 plus stuff, but no.
I don't know where this is going. This is going somewhere, Sam. I don't know.
Oh, gee, this is whacked out. Anyway, on to the chat interview. How did All Monsters Are Human form as a band?
So, this is a very,
I wasn't here for most of it.
so originally it was me and my brother, and then our old bass player Patrick and Ben, and our old bass player Patrick and my brother was talking about, maybe we should start a band together, and then they got together, and I came along, and Ben came along, and so that's how All Monsters Are Human kind of started from there. And we probably jammed together for about a month, and then we're like, we're actually vibing together. This feels good. Let's bring in a drummer. So we found Joe, and he come in, and it was like, as soon as he got there, it was like instant, like everything just clicked. And then there was a couple sessions with Joe, and then he's like, all right, let's bring in another guitarist. And he found Jason. Jason come in, and like that was like just instant as well. Everything clicked. So it was like such a speedy process that it was like within a couple months we had 6 guys together ready to play. And then slowly Pat dropped off and my brother dropped off, and we brought Kai in probably about 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've just been flat sticking it from there. But yeah, the original 2 members from the band technically aren't a part of the band anymore. Ironically enough.
So, ironically, it's All Monsters Are Human 2.0, nearly.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
And full disclaimer, when Jason came into the band, I was a terrible guitar player. So he has been my guitar teacher as well as lead guitar player. So you can thank him for anything that's tasty riff-wise, because that's all his teachings.
Yeah, we spent a lot of hours, me and Ben, writing, that he's joined, and yeah, so just to be able to take that and create amazing tracks out of it, it's been unreal over the years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, considering we had that COVID lockdown too, so yeah, we all sort of formed pre-COVID. So yeah, it's been quite a ride, but we got through it, and yeah, hopefully it's all up from here.
Yeah, and originally we wrote all our songs were originally with 2 vocalists, because me and my brother are both vocalists. So we wrote everything with like these overlaps and harmonies and blending together. And then when he said, I can't do this anymore, it was like, okay, let's try and rewrite everything so I can do it all myself. So it's like all our songs have gone through like 3 or 4 different drafts before we've settled on what we've got.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot of work into it, but if the end product is what you want, then obviously it's worth every minute of it.
Yeah,
Our weird, wacky writing style.
yeah.
It doesn't make sense, really.
It doesn't make sense. We all come at everything from different perspectives.
Very different perspectives.
And you know, it molds itself into something that we all kind of be like, yeah, this sounds good. Yeah, we like this. We're all like a bit what's the word? We're all a bit kind of like eclectic, yeah.
Hey.
And we're all a little bit coming to it from our own kind of genres of metal,
Which are very different.
we're all very different.
To Frank Sinatra in this guy.
I know. I mean, I don't even listen. Most of the time, I'm not even listening to metal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, you know. So then we come together, and it's kind of like, how are we gonna put this jigsaw puzzle together to look like and sound like something that we enjoy, and we hope other people enjoy.
So yeah, apart from the Frank Sinatra side of it, most of the other influences sound like they're metal, I would say.
Yeah. Our drummer Jojo listens to a lot of like girly pop stuff, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. Like he listens to that stuff, and he comes at it from like that kind of perspective as well. As you know, he does listen to metal, and he's got his favorite metal bands, but it's like, you know, bulk of his listening isn't really metal music either. So it's kind of like he's coming at it from that perspective, and it's all weird and wonderful, and we mash together to make something.
Whatever that something is.
Whatever that something is.
Sometimes that's the best way to go about it. Like, sometimes it's good to be part of a genre or a style of music, but if you're sort of dynamic and a mixture of genres, it's worked for so many bands over the years. I think of Architects, Bring Me the Horizon, Muse, Chili Peppers. There's been a whole heap that have done different genres, and well, you look at 3 of those, probably the 3 biggest bands in the last 30 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, Parkway Drive, a perfect example as well. I mean, everyone says the new stuff is not good. It's like, this is the biggest band in Australia and possibly the world, and they're trying something new. I think they're entitled to.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But, but I'm sort of like, everyone seems to think all my music is metal, and I look at my genres and playlists and that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, 90% of it is metal, but then I'll go and listen to something like, out of context, like Foster the People or Kaiser Chiefs or Muse or something, and it's just like, everyone says, oh, so you are a metalhead? I'm like, no, I'm not a metalhead, because I do listen to other bands. There's 50% of my genres are probably not even metal now.
Yeah. Which I feel like I'm kind of like that as well. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a bit 50-50. Like, I kind of come from like the Lamb of God, kind of like mid-2000s, like that kind of kill switch. That's
Hatebreed.
Hatebreed, a bit of hardcore in there as well. But then, like, I love rap. I love Aussie rap music. I probably should say that on the internet, but I do love Aussie rap music. I do. You know, like that's just one of the generation I grew up in as well. So, but I take influence from that, and you've probably heard Luke. Luke kind of has some kind of rap section type things in his songs. You know, a bit System of a Down type, and like, I love that stuff. Like, I get around that 110%.
Oh, I love System.
Yeah.
Even rap metal, like Rage Against the Machine, System.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill, I don't know. Well, it's more rap Cypress Hill than metal, but
Prophets of Rage.
yeah. Bands like, even Beastie Boys. I love old school Beastie Boys. I know it's not metal, but it's definitely good rap.
And it has that, the roots of metal are in there.
Yeah.
Like, just that heavy guitar and the heavy drum and bass. And again, that's just kind of like where it all comes from. So it's like, even Anthrax did stuff with rap groups. That's where they did it with like Public Enemy or something.
Yeah.
Anthrax did a song with Public Enemy back in the day.
Was it Bring the Noise, or have I got the wrong Anthrax
Yeah.
song?
Yeah, Bring the
Okay.
Noise. And it was on the Tony Hawk game.
Was it?
I swear it was on Pro Skater.
No, it
Pro Skater
was.
2?
One of them, one or two, something.
Yeah.
Showing how old we are.
And Sam talking about Beastie Boys and Anthrax certainly shows my age now, doesn't it? Oh God, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, that brings back memories.
That's what got us all into metal.
Yeah.
That corrupted us all, that game.
It did.
Uh,
Showed us the dark side, the good side.
Yeah, the good side. Showed us the light.
I swear, I don't know if it was the first game or the second game had Rage Against the Machine Guerrilla Radio. I swear it had that on there, but I could be wrong.
You're testing my knowledge now.
Oh shit it, I can't go on to Google
Yeah.
or...
I mean, it fits. I wouldn't be surprised because it definitely fits in that category.
We need someone off camera to be like, "Oi, bring up that fact."
Jamie.
Oh,
Bring
yeah,
up that fact.
It wouldn't look too good if I went on to Google on my laptop and it's like, Luca, Jason and Ben are in the WebEx meeting. What's Sam doing? This is an interview, not a Google search.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack.
I can't even go into Spotify because it'll do exactly the same thing, and I don't even think Spotify would have the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack on it now. I wouldn't think. Let's not. I said I wouldn't bag Spotify on an episode. Well, that wasn't technically bagging them, but anyway, let's leave Spotify off.
Fuck
topic.
Spotify. I'll say it. You don't have to.
Oh, well, if I started a rant, Luca, I think we'd be here till about 11 o'clock tonight, so let's not. But you can find their music on Spotify or Monsters Are Human. There's a plug.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to use it. That's the main platform now, unfortunately.
And if you want your music heard, it's the best platform outside of YouTube, probably.
Yeah.
True, yeah. It's a shame, but it's true.
Yeah. All right. How did you come up with the band name, All Monsters Are Human?
I'm happy to listen. I can't remember.
So, and my brother actually came up with the name as well. So, again, not in the band, but we stole the name off him. And it is actually an episode of the first season of American Horror Story. One of the names of the episodes is called All Monsters Are Human. And I don't know if he thought of it himself or if he got it off an ex-girlfriend or something, but we just loved the way it sounded and kind of the meaning behind it. And it was like, yeah, this will work as a band name. And then it's just kind of, we put it out there to when we met up with Ben and Pat, and they were into it. So it's just kind of stuck from there. And it's, it gets abbreviated down to ABBA really nicely. And so, it's just, yeah, it's all worked so far. And, it sounds good. People like it. People automatically know what we're about. So, yeah.
Armour. Yeah, it does really roll off the tongue if you want to shorten the band name. Not that All Monsters Are Human is a tongue twister, really, compared to some of the bands here in Australia.
It's pretty straightforward, let's be honest. But
yeah,
if you want to abbreviate it, Armour is good. And again, it's protecting yourself from all those shitty monsters out there.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's
Yes.
a lot out there.
Yes, there are, and stay away from them. Well, if you can, obviously. Sometimes that's easier said than done. But the interesting story, and I love bringing this up with how you come across how I come across the bands of the interview. So apart from Morbid Mondays, I think I saw something on Facebook a year or so ago about a band called All Monsters Are Human, and that's when I realised, because you were obviously from Melbourne Metalcore, a lot of great metalcore bands from Melbourne and Australia all together, and I was like, all right, one thing I'm going to do is actually check out this band, maybe at a gig or maybe check out their Spotify if their music was up, which I don't think Body Bag at that time was up yet. Because it was late
Body
2023.
Body Bag, yeah, would have gone up start of last year. Last year? Start of last year.
Start, yeah. Or end of the following year before, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been about a year, yeah. It's testing the memories now.
I've played that song 10,000 times. I just don't remember who it was.
And then, of course, when I saw that you played Morbid Mondays, because I actually quite like the Old Bar as a venue. Like, I think it's a great location, great people. And Johnston Street, for me, is arguably the best street in Melbourne for live venues. Arguably. I still think Sydney Road probably has it just with Bergie and Stay Gold. But Johnston Street with, Bendy and Bad Decisions and obviously Toad and that, I think, the Old Buzz, it sort of gets lost in that street because for the people that don't know, it's actually not that far from Bad Decisions, if people know where Bad Decisions in Johnston Street
it's on the same block.
Yeah,
It's on that same block,
4 doors down or something, and I didn't even realise it. It goes, walk past Bad Decisions. I'm like, where the hell is it? And then it's just there with the guitar on the top of the Old Bar. It's like, this is a nice little venue, but haven't been there in like 8 months, which is unusual.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've played that.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've played there.
Yeah, I think we've played since our first.
Yeah.
Well,
no, we played, I think, no, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just one,
Maybe it's only been once that we played at all.
And then Bad Decisions adopted us.
Yeah.
They just decided that we were there and we played there all the time, which is completely fine with us.
Matty says,
Shout out to Matty.
Shout out to
Matty. Bad Decisions.
Yeah. Matty basically just said, "You're now my resident metal band. Whenever I need a metal band, I'm calling you guys." And we're like,
Okay,
thank you.
Nah, shout out to Matty, as the 3 guys have said there. Matty's a good bloke. I actually have really adopted to Bad Decisions. I actually quite like it as a venue now. Ever since Matty took over, it's become a really good place and you feel welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It does give off that kind of like a homely vibe. Like, it's just, everything's nice. Matty's good. Like, it's just, it's laid back, and I like the laid back feel. And then even upstairs, the setup is just...
the setup's sick upstairs.
There's just something about it.
The crowd, you're right, Nick. There's no like big platform stage. You're right down there with the crowd. Yeah, everyone can be sweating on them, and they can jump. They can kind of come right up to you, and everybody's happy and jumping around. So it's great.
It's always a good one there.
Yeah.
Now, there's just one thing, and it's a small thing with Bad Decisions, and this happens with most venues, is the stairs.
Yeah.
Lugging gear up those stairs is not fun.
It
No.
fucking sucks.
Well, also walking up them, I've nearly fell a couple of times. I'm like, if this actually got a bit of TLC to it, it could actually really become perfect, almost.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I've been sitting at the bottom table and right at the step, and then someone's kind of slipped off the second step and dropped their drink on me, or
had to catch people,
and it's like, whoa, that's a bit sketchy, but it's all part of the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
Listen to metal, break your ankle.
I'm staying by.
Generally, you'd probably try to break your ankle in the mosh pit when you're two-stepping or
Typically,
wall of death or
you would
something.
think.
Not when you're 2 steps from the bottom and with a drink in your hand, you wouldn't think you'd go, boop.
That's two-stepping at its finest.
Yeah. That's the original 2-step right there.
The broken ankle and your drink on someone else.
Not that we're encouraging 2-step, but everyone does it at live music. But I actually like the 2-step. I just don't try and do it because last time I tried it, I hurt myself.
He's a fan.
I will encourage the 2-step. I will encourage a wall of death. I will encourage lots of moshing. Come to our shows and break each other's noses.
Well, okay. Within reason, obviously.
Within reason, of course.
Within reason. Kill each other. Within reason.
Sign the waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will.
And if anybody asks, I didn't ask you to do it.
And if anyone's watching this, I didn't encourage the Wall of Death or the
Liar.
He doesn't encourage it, but he definitely enjoys it when you do it.
And participates when it happens.
Do I? I don't think I've done the two-step. I don't think I've ever done the Wall of Death. I should do it one time.
You should. You got to do it.
It's so fun.
See, now you're encouraging it. Now you're encouraging it.
I'm a chicken shit. That's what I am. I'm the one at the back, just like, I'm not doing this shit.
No, you're taking it all in.
Yeah.
You know, you're really, and that's the thing, is like, it's good even when you come to, like, every time you come to gigs, like, talking to you afterwards, and like, even the input that you have in the community is just something that's kind of, like, no one else is doing it.
Yeah.
Which, like, to have someone that's doing it is, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice, and it just feels right for the scene. Like, to have people like yourself and Josh doing two kind of different things, but still promoting metal, like, and promoting the scene. It's mad.
Mhm.
Now, speaking of people promoting metal and shows and that, person by the name of Ez from Space Goat, I'm not too sure if you're aware of Heretic Frequency, a radio show down in Bendigo.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, so
I've heard of them before.
I think Ez is on par with Josh now. I think she is doing as much, or maybe more, in regional Victoria than obviously Melbourne, but like, she's got that ticked off festival with Alienist, Where the Devil, Volt Hill, New Million, Orpheus Omega, and she put that all together. She's promoting Aussie metal, so I feel like Ez is sort of doing what Josh and I am doing, but in the radio scene, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'll just shout her out now. Another booker is This Feels Metal, Cordelia, out in Albury. She does a fantastic job keeping the scene alive up there, and you know, she comes down here with Inherit Nothing whenever they're playing down this way, and always a good vibe, and trying to drag bands up to Albury to play shows up there and keep their scene going and inspire the young kids up there. So, you know, there's heaps of people doing it. You've just got to know who to look for and search for it, and you know, you'll find your community wherever you are.
And yeah, and I think we need more people out there doing it. Like, you know, the four of us can all do it. Us four and the four we just mentioned, or three we just mentioned, but we can only do so much. Everyone, like, if it's going to 1 gig a month, I mean, even that is a lot in itself. Like, I mean, streaming bands' music, buying merch, sharing it, I mean, every bit counts.
Yeah. Every little bit counts, you know, and you just hope that you know, you do it for other people will do it for you. But you know, you just try your best and persevere and do what you can, and you hope that you appeal to people and you get traction, and then you know, you take your mates with you. You remember the people who help you out, and you know, if you all go up together, then we'll be an unstoppable force. And you know, Australian metal did it once, and you know, we can push back and bring a new surgence of bands again.
Definitely. And I feel like this is the best time to do it. I think not just here in Melbourne, but the whole of Australia. I think the resurgence in metal at the moment is probably the best since that Parkway, Carnival, Amity era.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you can just look at all the festivals that are getting cancelled all over Australia, and you know what's not getting cancelled? Not Fest and Good Things. And you look around regionally, and there's heaps of little regional festivals with local bands. And what's the one in Adelaide called? There's the festival in Adelaide that's just crazy. They bring some bands over, and is it Beer Fest? Not Beer Fest.
Oh, Froth and Fury.
Froth and Fury, yeah, in Adelaide.
Well, you
And
had
they
the
do that
beer
every
part
year.
right, Luca. Because froth.
Yeah, I know. I remembered something. They do that.
Of course, you remember the beer.
Of course, I remember the beers.
Well,
Yeah, they do that every year there, and that's holding strong. So it's like, if we can put on these metal festivals and stuff like, Splendor in the Grass is getting cancelled, it's like, well, we're doing something right with the metal scene here.
well, that Froth and Fury last year's was amazing, but 2023's is possibly the best lineup I've ever seen because that had Butterfly Effect, Sunk Lotto, Suicidal Tendencies, Mirrors, Ocean Sleeper, and Red Hook, and Wind Waker alone. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit, that is some sort of lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only in Adelaide, and it's only going to be exclusively to Adelaide, but it's like, if Adelaide can put on a festival like that and sell it out, and they do that every year, it's like, well, what other festivals have they got on in Adelaide that's doing that well?
Yes, I guess that begs the question, doesn't it? And what are there some that aren't getting the publicity as much as obviously Froth and Fury and Not Fest and good things as you mentioned? I mean, I wish I was going to Not Fest on Friday, but I left it too late because I thought I was going to be working, and now I'm not working Friday, so I could have gone.
It's all right. You go to the side shows.
Yeah. Oh, who would have? I wanted to see Slipknot and Polaris probably the most, even though I've seen both of them before. But I think the 25 years since Self-Titled was released was the big reason for wanting to see Slipknot.
Yeah.
And Polaris obviously always put on a killer show.
Oh, yeah. I remember I saw Polaris it was a plastic, and it was before Unify, I want to say 2018, and they played the plastic, the Thursday night plastic, and they went crazy, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are insane. And from there, they've just gone up, and yeah, that's another, what was a local band that just exploded, and now, they're doing crazy stuff, and they're Polaris, they're going internationally, running their own tours. It's, insane.
And they're playing Download this year, I see. That's just
Yeah.
I think the Aussie contingent is almost better than the international for this year's. Because, like, Green Day, Weezer, I'm like, they're good, but...
Yeah.
I mean, Polaris, Make Me Suffer, Airborne, the three of the contingents playing from Australia, I'm like, that's almost as good as the headline.
Yeah. If you look at every festival internationally, I mean, you look at there's at least 2 Aussie bands on there, and it's like, Alpha Wolf will be on there, or Thornhill, or you'll have Make Them Suffer, Die Hard Is Murder will be on there, and there's always an Aussie band on those international lineups, and you're like, you want to keep that legacy going, and you want to get your band to that stage so you can keep that, legacy going of the Aussie bands going internationally and just ripping out and doing killer sets, and everybody knowing, when they hear that there's a band from Australia on the lineup, you've got to catch that set because they're going to be sick.
And I mean, and in some cases there's multiple, and I mean, I think with Not Fest the very first year, the contingent on that very first Not Fest in Australia, Alpha Wolf, North Lane, Parkway, Void, I'm thinking right at that stage, that was probably the 4 biggest bands in this country.
Yeah. And I mean, and they killed it. And everybody went to see them, everyone supported them. And, if you don't have those 4 bands on there, does Not Fest continue to be yearly in Australia? I mean, you need the bands here in Australia. And, Not Fest is yearly here. It's not yearly everywhere else around the world.
No.
It's like, it goes to show that the hunger that Australia has for metal and the bands that we're producing to be able to fill in that lineup and sell tickets and get people there.
Mm. No, totally agree. And a lot of international people are like, when they hear Australian bands, like 25, 30 years ago, they would have been like, oh, who could we name? And now it's like, well, who don't you name in the...
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, and arguably, biggest band in the world's come out of Australia.
mm,
At the moment, Parkway's up there with Architects and Bring Me the Horizon, and arguably even bigger than them. I mean, and it's just the grind coming out of Australia, and you just need the one band like Parkway recently to help bring the whole scene forward, and they've done that, and it's just everybody has been able to back it up really well, and and go over there. I mean, probably the most recent one would be Speed. Like, come just out of nowhere, bang, Speed's put themselves on the hardcore map, and now it's like they're everywhere. They don't stop touring. They're just all around the world all the time.
well, up until last year, this sounds weird, but I hadn't even heard of Speed until they released their album.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
I mean, I caught on to Speed pretty quickly, but like same for me. It was like I heard about them, and then they were like, "Oh, we're doing a show at Bendigo Hotel," and like tickets sold out in like 5 minutes. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is insane. And then from there, they just every time they come back, it was just progressively bigger, and then I mean, they're doing Northcote Theatre and selling that out, no problem. It's like, and they're not afraid to put on an all-age show at Stay Gold, and they'll put on 3 shows and they'll sell them all out. And I mean, it's insane just the level that they're at, and they're pulling bands with them. They're pulling AWOL with them. They're pulling, all these Aussie bands with them, and they're saying, come with us. Where we go, you go.
No, totally. And it's awesome to see. And I think Speed remind me a lot of how Alpha Wolf burst onto the scene like a couple of years ago, because very similar, because, well, Alpha Wolf originally, no, we class them as ours in Melbourne, obviously, but they're originally from Tassie, obviously. And just how big they've become in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's awesome to see.
I mean, Wind Waker. I first time I saw Wind Waker was at Bang, at a Saturday night Bang, and they were selling physical CDs, and they said come. They said they were selling physical copies of their first album, and they were like, come and chat with us.
What's a CD?
And like, I mean, talking crap with them, and then they turn around, and then all of a sudden, they're touring with I Prevail, and they're going overseas. They're in the US at the moment, and it's like I remember watching these guys that just rocking up to Bang, and who's playing tonight? Oh, Wind Waker. Oh, these guys are sick.
And now look at them. I mean,
and now look at them. Like it's just quality bands get picked up. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, and we're so isolated here in Australia, and to see all these bands going internationally, it's like
Amazing.
it's amazing, and there is a pathway for these Aussie bands to push forward and get where they need to be.
We have a chance.
We have a chance.
We have a chance.
We've got a pathway.
it sounded like Yoda from
The metal
Star
community's
Wars.
got their eyes towards Australia at the moment, and we're a major market, and we're major competitors, and there's heaps of quality bands coming through, and you just hope that you're a part of that rising tide.
Aussie metal's just sick.
Yeah.
It's just sick.
It's just sick.
We're all just sick.
All right. Well, I was going to ask, what has the response been like for Subconscious Soldier? But it's hard to ask when it's only been out 72 hours. So I'll go back to the single before it and ask, what's the response been like for the Culling?
Go for it. What?
I feel like I've talked so much.
He has, but he's the singer. The singer has to talk.
Yeah, no, Culling.
It's not my job. It's not in my contract.
You got a contract?
I got yard shit.
Did you
I'm
sign
gonna get paid for
a waiver before this interview, Ben, or something? Just like everything's answered by Luca, is it?
Yeah, I just make the stupid comments. That's pretty much. That's literally my job.
And Jason just sits in the corner.
He's HR department.
The reception for the Culling, though, heaps of people, hit us up as soon as it released, saying that they really enjoyed it. They like that, they want to come and see us live, and a lot of our experience is as good as you can listen to it on the record. Like, we want people to come and see us live, and if we didn't have to do the recordings and people would just show up to the gigs, I mean, we'd probably go that route. It would save us a lot of money. But like, I think a big part of our music is we don't write it for the recording process. We write it to be listened to live, and we put out the track, and that gets more people to the gigs, and people, like, we have people all the time coming up to us and be like, you guys, your recorded stuff is good, but there's nothing that beats coming and seeing you guys live. And sometimes the way that we write doesn't really lend well to recording, because we've got lots of time changes and slow down, speed up, and sudden stops. But yeah, the Culling came together really well, and we're really happy with it, how it came out, and the reception of it was just amazing. Heaps of people liked it, shared it, streamed it. We had heaps of people giving us gigs off the back of that release. So it was a great response to it. We're just happy that people enjoy the crap that we come up with in
the crap.
the shit we come up with in Ben's bedroom.
The crap.
Get your mind out of it, all of you.
I didn't even say nothing.
Oh, the crap, the shit. No, the crap sounds a bit.
The reception was, Ben?
Well, the culling was good. Again, for me, I'm like Luke said, I'm a big live guy. I think we're all like big. We love seeing bands live, and like nothing beats a band that is just tight. You can tell that they don't even have to look at each other. They can hear each other, and they can feel where they're at, and kind of just give that live performance that's memorable. And then obviously Luke, like, he goes crazy. He goes nuts. Like, I'm just standing there. I'm watching him, half the time. That's why he's doing all the talking, because I just talk shit. But yeah. Anyway, Jason, thoughts on the Culling? Go for it, man.
Having said that, like, me too, when I'm writing with these guys, I like to be able to play it in front of people. But Culling's been great, but having said that, I think now that we found Glenn Franklin, who did Subconscious for us recently, I think that's really opened up the avenue of improving how we sound on the recording and
live.
And live, yeah,
and live, yeah, stylistic,
yeah, definitely. So, I think the Culling and even Body Bag, they were good entry-level sort of tracks to get ourselves out there, get our music out there, and get people to gigs. But yeah, I think one of our goals for this year will be to just release more music, more good quality music, and just see where that takes us.
I feel like also the Culling, like, it was sort of off the success and the first single, Body Bag, being released. I always find that the second single being released can sometimes be middle of the road. Like, what's going to happen? Is it going to be as good as the debut single? Is it going to be better? Because you're on that high when the first single gets released, because you're like, all this hard work that's been put into releasing our debut single, you don't know what to expect, and then it's dynamite, and like, it all goes well. I think, sometimes the second single, this isn't speaking from experience, of course, because Sam's never written a song in his whole life, But like I see a lot of the big name bands, and their first single is generally their biggest. Now there are a few exceptions, like Bring Me the Horizon, obviously. Shadow Moses, probably their most successful song. It wasn't their first song, obviously. Parkway Drive, probably another exception, but 9 times out of 10, the first single is the band's most successful. But yeah, there are obviously exceptions, and I felt like the Culling was a great follow-up to Body Bag, and I felt like the Subconscious Soldier is a great follow-up to the Culling, and I think each song's getting better by the day, really.
Yep. Yeah. I know we really appreciate that. One thing that I can say is, like, I hate recording. Personally, I would rather play in front of however many people, and I don't get nervous like the same I do when I record. And I think because, from Body Bag to Culling and then to Subconscious, we've had 3 different kind of producers and people that we've kind of worked with, because we've been trying to figure out, who works best with us. And, we're all pretty unique individuals. Yeah. So like we want that person to be able to tolerate us as well, because sometimes we can be a bit of a handful when we're all together.
Really? You don't?
Yeah, I was going to say, you wouldn't think it.
No.
You wouldn't think it, but yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But with Glenn Franklin, he's like Jason said and Luke said, like he's really kind of he made us hone in on what we wanted to sound like, the direction of where the songs were going. And like coming into Subconscious Soldier, I think I was like the least nervous, because it just felt it felt really right. Like everything felt really right. And now we have a couple of other goodies that are going to be coming out shortly. Yeah. And there'll be some stuff happening with music videos and things like that as well in the near future, very near future. Yeah. So like it's just from the Culling and the perspective of where we're going from there, even is just a step above, and that's what we're trying to aim for every time. Let's just exceed what we did the last time and be happy with what we're doing and confident in what we're doing.
Well, you've sort of led me into the next question, Ben, about you'd rather perform than record. The next question, funnily enough, is your least favourite and your favourite thing about being a musician. Well, I think we know your least favourite, because you just gave it away there.
Well, I have a couple of least favourites, actually. I'm a bit of a complainer. But stage lights. Someone needs to do something about stage lights, because I get real hot. I get real hot up there.
Least favourite thing about being a musician is sweating your ass off every time you're on stage.
Yeah, it gets slippery on
you. Yeah, so sweaty and so hot. And you do 2 songs and then you feel like you're going to die, and you go, I've got another half an hour of this.
Why is the song so fast? Yeah. Why did we make it so fast?
Why did we make the song so fast? Why did I decide to do this right here? I can barely breathe.
I'm starting an acoustic band.
Yeah. No lights.
No lights. Nothing. Just
an acoustic guitar, laid back, intimate session.
Yeah, and a phone torch. Just a phone torch for the light.
Your own.
That's all you get.
Yeah, bring your own light.
Bring your own lights. That's it.
Yeah, no, venues and heat is not a lot of fun. I can think of a few 35-degree days up at the Gasso, which sadly is about to close in a few weeks' time. Whoops, breaking news. Everyone's probably seen it on Facebook anyway. But I remember there was a 40-degree day. I was up there. I think it was for Common Evil. I think it was one of their first shows with Halliday, and it was like 40 degrees, and I'm just like, I'm not even in the band, and I'm up there sweating.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not good.
When it's hot, and then you get those lights on you, and it's like, that's probably my least favourite thing.
I'm ready for retirement at that point.
That's my least favourite thing, is those damn. Somebody needs to figure out how to make a light that isn't going to let off that amount of heat.
Yeah. Or spray water on you.
Spray water, something. Yeah, electrocute everybody.
Electricals. See?
There's an idea for Shark Tank, that TV show. Like that doesn't.
What about you, Jason? What's your pet peeve?
I think mine is fixing all the equipment that I break on stage or either at rehearsal. It's just, it's like I've got my
Bloody lead guitarists.
yeah, it's insane. Like,
Jesus.
all it takes is a patch cable to just shit itself, and then
You're
you're spending
out.
100%. You're spending like a whole half hour trying to figure out where your fault is, and yeah. So for me, I don't know, maybe just the way I transport everything, but I'm always finding there's always something I've got to replace or open up and see what's going wrong. But apart from that, yeah, it's good fun having all that gear and equipment and just playing your stuff. And
So that's your least
That's
favorite
the
and your most
it's
favorite.
100%, yeah.
And even if something of mine breaks, he fixes it. I don't fix it. That's so he worries about my gear too. He's not worried about his equipment as much as mine is. So it's like
And I'm a vocalist. I don't have any gear to worry
Oh,
about. I
you-
just
you-
walk up and be like, "Where'd you put the microphone?"
Mic stand.
watch stand, please.
Oh, you're fine then, Luca. You don't have to worry about a mic stand.
I don't even have to worry about a mic stand. I'm just like, "Where's the microphone? Is it plugged in? How do you plug this in?"
All you got to worry about is it actually works. I couldn't imagine how
Yeah.
embarrassing it would be. It's like you go to sing a song and like,
It's happened, and I've had to throw one mic and grab another one and keep going. There's
oh,
always something. If you can think it's happened, it's probably happened to somebody.
my most embarrassing moment on these interviews, I accidentally knocked a mic and it turned itself off for 2 minutes the other week. And I'm like, I can see my mouth move. You can see the visual. Everyone's like, what happened? I look down and the microphone's gone to red. I'm like, oh shit, Sam. What's this, episode 7? And you've knocked the microphone to turn it off. So
What are you doing?
so the microphone is not even in eye shot of the WebEx meeting now, because I know if I put it anywhere near the laptop, I'll do it again.
Lesson learned.
Yes, plenty of lessons learned on WebEx, but there's a lot of favourite things about what I do and least favourite. I think the least favourite thing about podcasting and doing that is when, and this isn't saying that this interview is going to end next minute, is actually when the interview ends. I don't like when the interview ends. I wish that the interview could just go on and on and on. That's my least favourite thing by a mile, because this is no exception to any of the other interviews. This has been as good as any of the others, and I've loved every minute of it, but I keep thinking in the back of my mind, this has to end at some stage, unfortunately.
Yeah. I need my beauty sleep. Sorry, no.
And al-
So both barrels bang straight to the chest.
and also the other factor is it's a Tuesday night. It's not a Saturday night or a Friday night also. We've got to factor that in.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
That's true. We're getting old.
We're all getting old.
We're all getting
We're all
old.
gonna get up.
Bedtimes get earlier the older we get.
I actually went to bed really early the other night, and I think it's the earliest I've ever gone to bed in like 15 years. It was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, am I really that old now that I'm going to bed at 7 o'clock?
Turning your electric blanket on half an hour before bed.
Yeah, to get it nice and
Hot water
toasty.
bottle.
But the favourite thing about this is that the stories, the banter, there's been plenty of that in this episode already. I get the feeling there might be more on the way. But yeah, just hearing the stories and the banter and just getting to chat to people in bands, whether they're from Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, Adelaide, just, yeah.
Yeah. For me, something I really love about being in a band and kind of being in the music scene is obviously one, creating music that I love, first and foremost, but the guys that I do it with and like how much they teach me, we've all, had our moments where, we might be a little bit kind of clueless on something like that, and we've done nothing but help each other out in those moments. And kind of just like, I don't know, make each other comfortable in being able to express what we want to express. And I love being able to do that. Like, the guitar is my voice that I don't have. If I want to yell and scream, and I can come up with some nasty riffs. And I see Luke and Jason's face. You know, they do the stink face when I do it. They're like, "You were pissed off when you did that." And I was like, "No, I was, but it sounds awesome." So like, and I love that expression. That's probably the best thing for me, being able to express myself.
Yeah. Just on the back of what Ben said, like, you know, my favorite thing about being a musician is just kind of the interaction you get with all the other musicians, and just like, you know, you can come from it from your own perspective, but you can get your own perspective completely like 360'd and cut and shreds when you hear somebody else. You're like, I never would have thought to come at it from that way with that intention, and you know, and just listening to everybody else, and you know, just the community of musicians that we have around us. And it's like, you know, you're always learning. You're learning something, and yeah, that's
forever inspiring.
You're forever being inspired by different things and different people. And I mean, that's what I love about being a musician and just being in this scene. It's just like you're always finding inspiration from something and someone.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like we've never run out of material to work on, or never had anything in the back burner. It's just one thing after another to work on, and hopefully play in front of everyone at some point. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far.
Jason's favorite thing is to do a solo wherever he can in a song. That's Jason's favorite thing. The lead guitar player understands it. If there is a hole, I'll fill it.
No dead air. If we need covering of dead air, we've just got Jason on the solo.
I broke him.
Oh, this is all visual, and it's funny how with visuals it's like, oh, I can do this and I can do that, but then when you watch it back, you're like, oh, why do I keep scratching my face, or why do I keep laughing at everything that's being said? And it's like, but I actually prefer the visual. I never thought I'd say that after doing so many audio podcasts, that I'd prefer seeing the people I'm talking to than audio.
Yeah, definitely. And even for a viewer too, I feel like it's like, even like I'm someone who watches podcasts, and I love to be able to kind of see the reaction of the person, you know, when they're talking, and like whatever their conversation is, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and just kind of seeing their vibe. And I've been sitting here like this whole time because I don't want to be doing that, because I talk with my head, so I'm kind of sitting still. Yeah.
We'll just sit here for the next 20 minutes, arms crossed. Let's see how long it lasts.
It's starting to hurt. I'm not going to lie.
The only other thing I don't like about podcasting is hearing the sound of my own voice. I am not a fan of my voice.
I think nobody is really.
I think nobody likes their own voice.
Yeah. Especially a singer. Like, mate, I don't like it. Do it again. I don't like it. Do it again.
Yeah, I have to walk out sometimes while they're replaying the songs before it's all mixed.
Yeah.
Because I'll hear it and I'll go, nah, I did that specific point wrong. I've got to redo that. And they're all going, no, it sounds fine. I'm like, no. You know, so you're not the only one, Sam.
No.
I can't. Until it's done and I can't touch it anymore, I really don't want to hear it.
Because I get asked, like, if you hate the sound of your own voice, what do you do? Like, why were you in radio? Why were you doing podcasting? I'm just like, I guess just in the end, I got used to the sound of my own voice. And I admit, as I said, don't like the sound of it, but it's just something you get used to, I guess, after a few years.
Yeah, that's it. It's all a part of the trade, isn't it? You know, got to talk, got to deal with it. But we're all our own worst critic, really.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all hard on ourselves, probably more than we should be sometimes. So I guess just try not to be. I don't take things too seriously, as you've noticed.
That's my motto. These interviews, everyone's like, why are you so laid back? Why don't you take it seriously? I'm like, I do take it seriously to some point, but if I'm there just serious for the whole interview, then what's the fun in that, really?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not much of a conversation if you're being serious all the time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think the banter and the stories and all the stuff that gets talked about is important to hear. And banter's my number one thing in interviews. I'm like, if there's not banter, there's something wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should come to our rehearsals. And
Yeah.
our non-stop shit talks.
Mate, if you were a fly on the wall, holy crap.
Oh, Joe and Kai as well. I mean, oh shit.
Oh. That's adding two things into the soup that is a little bit spicy.
Oh yes, the conversations I've had with Kai have been very, very interesting to say the least. But
He's look, Kai is a character, but he is honestly he is someone, even though he's a bit younger than us. He's someone that kind of like, I haven't really seen anyone in a long time that like loves the scene the way he loves the scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like whether he's in a band or he's not in a band, like he'll promote any band. He doesn't give a shit.
No.
He's like, if I like you and I'm coming to see you and all that, I'll throw your name out there and tell everyone I know. So he's kind of one of those guys that if he wasn't in a band, he'd be doing what you're doing or doing what Josh is doing or something like that anyway. So
he just loves the scene, and he just he's willing to chat with anybody, and he'll if you ask him, give me some bands, he'll throw down half a dozen bands for you to listen to, and he'll tell you the exact track that you should listen to and when their next gig's coming up. I mean, he's so tapped in, and he loves the scene so much. He's just he's just there's not many people out there like him, and you need somebody like him to just kind of keep it going and let people know what's happening.
yeah, be that familiar face,
Yeah, be the familiar face for not only the people in the audience, but also the people on stage in the bands. So good to look out and see someone like yourself, Sam, or other people that come to a few gigs, and you look out and you're like, oh shit, yeah, they're back again, and it's good. It gives you, like people coming back, and it's great. And then you can go have a chat with them afterwards, and they let you know what's going on, and yeah,
it's motivating.
It's motivating.
It's very
It's definitely motivating.
And one thing I know about Kai is he does love a chat.
He loves a good yarn.
Like we said, come to band practice.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
hard to get him to shut up.
I'll tell you what. I reckon him and Trots from Disgust, if you put them together in the same room, and again, no disrespect to Trots gets a few beers into him. I reckon he could talk your ear off for a couple of hours easily if he had it spare.
Just plop him and Kai together and just let him go.
Oh,
Them two a case of beer, and they'll be set for the next 4 days.
because that Bendigo show, I was actually in the bar before you guys started, and I was like, I'll have a 10-minute conversation with Trots before you guys played, and looked at my mobile, it's like 8:28. I'm like, shit, All Monsters are about to start. I didn't realise we'd actually been talking for nearly half an hour.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that gig, Kai was late to getting on stage. Everyone was trying to find Kai. We didn't know where Kai was.
I think he was up having a yarn or something.
He was talking to someone upstairs in the green room. It's like,
Oh,
what are you doing, mate? Get on the stage.
well, that's more of a worry. Well, maybe if the vocalist or the drummer didn't turn up, that might be more of an issue.
Nah, it's all right. It's always good to have a good yarn, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've only got one more question, and then the tables get turned, and the interesting things about to happen. I actually don't know what to expect with this.
He's doing it. He's tapping me.
I reckon you asked.
I'm not asking a question. I've said enough dumb shit. I'm tapped out.
All right. Where do you see All Monsters Are Human in 5 years' time?
Luke can take that one.
5 years, I hope. Well, we are. I'm not going to say I hope because we will be there. In 5 years, we're going to be on the festival circuit. overseas, doing the whack-ins and the downloads overseas.
We are.
We're gonna be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be in 5 years. That's where I want to be. That's where I'm gonna drag us kicking and screaming. We want to be doing this full time, living our best life, playing music that we love for people that love our music, and that's the ultimate goal. I mean, we're not in it for money and fame, and we really just want to be able to play and do what we love to the audience that'll hopefully love it. And yeah, as much as to an audience that loves it just as much as we do. We make the music for us selfishly for ourselves, but we also hope that translates out to people enjoying it and relating to it as well.
Yeah, and hopefully inspire some other young bands to start out. And give it a go.
Yeah.
And we came up at a time that was pretty hard. Just after COVID, no one wanted to go outside. Everybody was scared of human contact.
Yeah.
We were just fuck it. Let's play. If it's for one, we've played for the sound engineer.
Yeah.
Just for the sounding. There's no one there.
No one there.
And I didn't give a shit because it's we're out and we're playing. And by the end of that gig, a bunch of people came in because they heard us from wherever it was. And that is what
we're about.
If a young band can come up and do that, then shit, come play with us. We'll put you on. We don't care,
Yep.
Yeah. COVID. How did we live through that era? I mean,
difficult. Very difficult.
I can't talk for what Melbourne went through because obviously being from Warragul is not Melbourne. But you guys had it way worse than what regional Victoria ever had it. But I don't know how you got through it, honestly.
A lot of PlayStation.
Yeah.
To be honest. A lot of video games.
A lot of video games, a lot of chatting with people through online sources and trying to keep sane, to just hear people's voices, web chats.
Yeah.
Discord was a savior for me. Every night I was jumping on Discord and just playing games with friends, and even during the days, that's all it was. It was just trying to find any semblance of human interaction. And our first couple of songs that we wrote after that was Body Bag and Weight on My Chest and Subconscious Soldier, and it was all about this kind of loneliness and trying to get through that and struggling to get to the end and see the lights at the end of the tunnel. So, we wrote those 3 songs bang straight out of COVID. And, it was, those are hard times, but we used that as motivation for a creative force that we used that as our outlets. And, everyone got through it differently, but, we were just thankful that we were able to still come together at the end of it and create something.
We stayed a band.
Yeah,
I thought there was periods where I thought that if this doesn't end, if COVID doesn't end, then what's the point? What's the point of being in it? It felt kind of endless.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. And I think that's why we gig so much now, as well as because being cooped up in the scene kind of partially being killed.
Yeah.
Because of that, even just the event scene in general, not even metal, but for, across all different, types of genres of music. It was let's just get out and play as much as we can, whether it's for one person or 100 people. We don't care. Let's just get out and get people out. And
and our policy has always been, if we can do it, we will do it. And that's been to our benefit and to our detriment. But coming out of COVID, we were just if we're going to do this, we're going to go all in on it, and we're going to play every show that we can. And we've done that. And every time people come to us with a gig, if we can play it, we say yes.
Yeah, 100%. Sure. Especially for our community.
Yeah.
For our Melbourne, or not even Melbourne, just our Aussie metal community, we will be there if we can be there 110%.
I was under the same thing when, everyone's I don't want to go outside after the restrictions are lifted or go to public places. No, fuck this. I'm not staying inside. I've been told to stay inside for 268 days. I'm not
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
The first gig,
And then even
though, that I went to after COVID did feel a bit strange, though, because, well, it was the first one out of COVID. It's like I still feel like I'm doing something wrong, but I'm not.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how we were made to feel. I know.
Yeah.
I think maybe let's not get into it because that's a bit of a deep dive. But we all have our opinions on that.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we've gone over those opinions with. I think COVID and Spotify have been named in nearly every episode I've done, or at least one of the two. So.
Yeah. Well, it's something that's like really relevant for our generation. Like, even my parents didn't go through something like a COVID pandemic, anything of similarity really. So it's like pretty crazy that we kind of all went through it. We all went through it together, and then being Melbourne, the most locked down city in the entire world, that's just, now we're famous for something else. That's not that cool. Like, that's not that great.
No. We were the most livable city in Australia and the world.
For a long time, we were the most livable city,
And parts of me thought maybe, 15 years ago I had thought about moving to Melbourne, but I think once a regional boy, always a regional boy. So
makes sense. It's quieter.
Yeah,
it's a bit better when there's a lot less happening, I think, sometimes.
But it isn't like a 3 hours round trip to Melbourne. It doesn't sound that much, but yeah,
it's a lot.
It is, but it's worth it. It's better than sitting at home.
Depends how drunk you are when you're going home. How drunk are you on your? That's a question for you. Yeah. What's the drunkest you have ever been? How do you get to the gigs? By train or do you drive? What's your?
Now, the smart idea there is, and I know a lot of people probably think I do drive in. I actually don't have a license, so I actually public transported in, which works out to be cheaper. But the best thing about it is, if I want to have a drink, I can drink and not have to worry about being over the limit.
Getting home in the car.
Except getting onto a train maybe might be a challenge if you've had a few too many.
And that's what I want to ask. What is the drunkest you have ever been on a trip back home after a gig in Melbourne?
Oh, I think it's got to be... Oh, no, I didn't go home after the Disgust Deadweight last year. I didn't, because I stayed in Melbourne, but I didn't get back to my brother's till like 3 a.m. in Pascoe Vale.
Oh, yeah.
No, so that doesn't count. And neither does the ones in Traralgon, because I stayed in... I think when Disgust first came to Melbourne a couple of years ago, when they played Stay Gold, I reckon I was pretty drunk then. And I remember getting on the train, I'm like, feeling the effects. I don't think I had eaten at all that night, or not since about 5 p.m. And I just remember getting home, I'm like, oh, Sam, what have you done? Stay Gold does that to you. Disgust do that to you, because...
It's all in the name. It's all in the name.
But, I think that's probably the worst. That being said, though, the show with Disgust and Deadweight, I was pretty hungover the next day because I didn't go home till 3 a.m. to my brother's. But
it was a big night. It was a big night for all of us. We all hung around real late that night, and I remember it got to like 1 a.m. and I was like, social battery is tapped, ready to go home. I was listening to enough loud music and had enough to drink now. I think it's time for this one to drive me home.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question.
No, I don't really drink, so I'm the deso most of the time.
It's amazing.
So he's lucky.
I'm lucky.
Not that you really drink that much, but I kind of I don't really drink, so I've always kind of been the deso for the band. So like whenever we go anywhere, I'm always the guy carting around all the amps, and
I'm not opposed at all. I don't even feel bad. No, it's like you can drive.
Yeah. I was like, no worries.
Do you charge him? Luca, like an Uber? Just say, all right.
I charge him.
I've just given you an idea now, haven't I?
Charge my band, mate.
I give him tasty metal riffs to sing to. So like that is the payment.
Every now and again, he'll buy me Macca's on the way home. So,
Oh.
you know, we call each other square.
Bare minimum a large fries.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Oh, the old Macca's run on the way home. Done plenty of
Had
those.
a few of those after some TV shows.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question, Ben. I've never been asked that, so that's a new one, actually.
There you go.
And I am
I'm
not
glad it wasn't
encouraging
bad.
drinking either, by the way.
No drinking on public transport. Don't
Yeah.
drink on public transport.
If you want to drink at public venues, that's a different story.
Yes.
Together.
All right, well, you've sort of stolen my thunder, Ben, because I was about to say, Eddie, now the tables get turned, so...
Oh, sorry.
No,
So
it's
sorry.
all
We can
good.
ask you another question.
Yeah, they can do cop one. One wasn't too bad.
Quick question.
I don't know.
How
Um,
many?
They're terrible.
I mean,
That's why I'm the one that asked.
How many
does it
what?
be clean or?
Sorry, what? I didn't hear that.
What does that even mean?
There you go. There's the question. Does it have to be
Have to
clean?
be clean. What does that
Have
mean?
to be clean.
Do the questions have to be clean?
I don't know,
Does the
Jason.
question have to be clean?
Well,
He was about to be dirty. He was about to ask a dirty question.
I was about to ask something.
This guy
very
over here.
dirty.
I
Yeah,
did
you
say...
might say it properly, but this one's the secret dirty one.
Oh,
Are you
God.
excited to see this year?
Oh yeah,
Who am I
there you go.
Yeah.
Who am I excited to see this year? I like that question. Shit. Who am I
So
actually?
Parkway coming in, is it June? At the Sydney Opera House? Or
Yeah, June,
Yeah,
Sydney
the
Opera
film
House,
interest coming up,
Parkway
yeah.
show. I hope they take that.
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
That would be insane because, like, as we've said throughout the interview, the biggest metal band in Australia, possibly the biggest metal band in the world right at the moment. I think, like, if they tape that and then put it up on ABC or YouTube, iView, whatever the platform might be, I think seeing Parkway
really, yeah.
anytime would be insane. I really am hoping, and I get the feeling I won't be working the weekend of Alpha Wolf at Narry Warren. Alpha Wolf, Malevolence, and Zuko. If I'm not working that Sunday night, I'm definitely going to be going to that.
Yeah.
Because
That'll be a really good show.
fucking insane, and Zuko are really good. But there's a couple of shows I can't actually mention because that's well, they haven't actually been
Inside
announced
information.
yet.
Oh, look at Sam with the inside knowledge.
He's got the
But
scoop.
Can you get
There is one I am
convince
excited
him to
about.
put us on.
Yeah, I won't mention the bands or the dates because that's false information because it hasn't been announced yet. But there is one happening that I really am keen for, and yeah. But that's a great question, Jason. Like, there's so many. Like,
Yep.
well, I'm really keen for that Iron Jaw bookings one as well. Josh is putting on in May. That's going to be sick as well.
Yep.
Furious Georgia, as I said, one of my favourite Melbourne bands. Dead Weight always put on a great show. And the interstate bands, like I Choose Violence, Storm the Crown alone. I mean, they're two of my favourite South Australian bands and they're on the same bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crazy lineup. It's going to be a crazy show.
Yes. Get the feeling I'll be
At the
on.
Bendigo Hotel, great venue as well. You know,
And then 8 months ago, it didn't look like it would ever open again, but thankfully, it did.
Thankfully, it did.
yeah, it did. And I mean, you need places like the Gasso, Bendigo Hotel, the Tote, even small venues like Bad Decisions and Old Bar. I mean, without places like that, you don't really get to grind and find your sound as musicians to then kick on to be what Wind Waker is, to then kick on to be what, you know, Polaris is, to then kick on to be what Parkway Drive is. I mean, without those venues that, you know, give you the access to and the ability to kind of play at such a young formative time as a band, you know, you're not going to be able to get onto those bigger and better venues. So, if you can go and support those local shows, because it's not only the bands that you're supporting, it's keeping those venues open to be able to play those shows so the bands can, grind and work themselves and, build themselves up to be the world beaters that are the Parkways and the Diehardies Murders and the Carnivals.
And they're good bands to look up to. I mean,
Yeah.
yes. No. And I actually don't know how to, like, a lot of people asked, who is the next big thing here in Australia? And I'm like, I don't actually have an answer to that. But
There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential for
But
it.
fuck it, I'll throw a band out there. Starve. If you have not
yeah,
heard
shit,
of
that's a
Starve,
good call there,
Jordan
Luca,
Dunbar
actually.
is an insane vocalist, and they are amazing. If you haven't seen them, go and see them. Starve. I'm tipping my hat to them, and I'm saying that they're going to be the next, at least Melbourne band to take off.
Yeah, and they just supported Harm's Way from overseas. They also played an all ages show at Stay Gold last year as well with Signals and a few other bands. They've been doing a lot. Put out a pretty killer album last year as well.
Yeah, their album release was really good. I mean, for me, in out of the Melbourne scene that really hasn't kicked on to that next level, they're probably that next band up to really explode.
Yeah, look, because all the bands I'm thinking of are either already there. Like, I was going to say someone like Last Martyr or Future Static, but they're already they're at that level now.
Yeah.
Well, especially Future. I mean, what they've become in the last 12 months, like, they're probably one of the biggest bands here in Melbourne, if not the biggest.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, Thornhill, Alpha Wolf, probably just ahead of them at the moment, but if we get into the whole are they from Tasmania, are they from Melbourne situation with Alpha Wolf, then it might be a different story.
Yeah, we both claim them. We just call them Australian, and it is, we can both claim it.
Well, I thought Wind Waker were originally, aren't they Wagga Wagga as well?
Yeah, Wind Waker's originally from Wagga.
Yeah, so hang on, now that gets the conversation going. Are they from Melbourne or Wagga Wagga then?
I mean, they honed their craft in Melbourne, so we can claim them.
Okay, alright.
Hey, we'll claim Polaris as well. We don't care. Melbourne's the scene to be, so it's like everyone has to come here to make it big.
Can we claim Disgust? Oh, well, no, not really, because Kyle's the only one from
We'll
Victoria.
claim him as well. Who cares? You know what? At this point, Parkway Drive is from Melbourne.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll just take all the big names of Australian metal and say they're from Melbourne.
Yeah.
100%.
No offense to any other states whatsoever.
Hey, Make Them Suffer, I'm pretty sure they're from Melbourne.
No, I think...
Alex is from Melbourne, so, I mean, might as well be from Melbourne.
Well, there's some bands I reckon that you can claim as Melbourne because they're here more than they play in their own state. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Electric Callboy, I mean, they're here more in Australia than they play in Germany. It's...
Yeah.
They're honorary Australians. I mean, bangers and metal. I mean, what's more Australian than that?
And Rat-a-tat-a-tat.
I mean, they could play at a bush stuff, no problem, and we'd love it.
Oh, Electric
There you go,
Callboy.
Strawberry Fields next year, headline act, Electric Callboy.
Oh, there's something. Electric Callboy. I think... Oh, they're actually not a guilty pleasure because they're actually still metal and well respected, so you can't really call them a guilty pleasure. All right. Well, Luca, I think you're the only one that, or was yours sort of in line with Jason's?
Yeah. I've got have I got another question? Yeah, it's pretty much in line with Jason.
You got the dirty one?
Have I got the dirt? No, I'm a very clean boy. I don't do that dirty stuff. I'm a clean boy. I don't do that dirty stuff.
Oh my god.
Don't edit that out. Please don't edit that out.
No, this one, none of this will
I'm as
be
clean as a
edited.
whistle. My parents will listen to this. I can't say anything bad. I'm not doing anything incriminating.
My parents.
Oh shit. All right.
It's been a blast, Sam.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Sam.
This
Thank
has
you very
been
much for having us.
awesome, and this isn't. None of this last part or any of it's going to be edited because every minute has been absolute gold. And Luca, Jason, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'd have All Monsters Are Human on anytime in 2026, sadly, because I'm booked out till 2026. Everyone's like, oh, do you have a spot? I'm like, I've just had the last band booked in, and it's like, yeah, it's good that bands are wanting to jump on, but it's sort of like having to tell them 2026 now. It's a bit annoying.
That's good for you, though.
I mean, yeah, no,
that's
that's
good
great.
for you.
You've got,
The more you have, the better.
yeah, you've got so many people wanting to jump on and have a chat with you, and it's really important to have things like this for the local scene. So you hear about bands that you've never heard of before, and you kind of get to meet the people behind the bands. And
how cooked we all are.
and just realize that we're all as fucked up as each other, and when you see it on a stage, we're just normal people that are stupid and dumb and
Yeah, that's never
want
going
to
to
have fun.
That's me forever.
Yeah, we're all just trying to do something to pass the time and have fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Fun is the most important part of it.
yeah,
Have fun and don't take it too seriously. Just love doing what you're doing.
yeah,
And that's all that matters, really, I think.
yeah. If somebody's taking something too seriously, I don't know. It just seems it's like, is it that serious?
Mm.
We're just here. We're all here to have fun, take a piss, and if something happens from it, we'll be even happier.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, and for those that do watch this, I hope to have it up before Thursday, but if not, I'll probably tag the event anyway in Facebook and just get down to Last Chance, see Serpentry, see Electric Funeral, see All Monsters Are Human, and get out to any live music, not just Thursday night. There's a whole heap happening in March. It's not funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's amazing, actually, to be honest. It's good. It's good.
Every weekend you could be going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and be seeing metal shows.
Yep.
At the moment, and yeah, it's insane the level of musicianship that's around, the amount of bands and the amount of fucking sick bands that are around.
Yeah.
That unless you go out and seek them yourself, you're probably never going to hear about them. And it's a real damn shame that some bands are going to play to an empty room because they deserve more than that.
Yeah.
So make sure you get out to your local shows and smash some beers and mosh.
Buy some merch.
Buy some merch.
Buy some merch.
That was one of the things I was about to say. I was going to say also buy tickets before the night as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to kind of pre-order and do all that type of stuff as well. Like,
Yeah.
again, just showing any support. And,
Yeah.
we just love to have fun.
I think what I didn't realize, and I realize more now that we're in the band and we're playing shows, is you don't realize how much more motivating it is to like get to the venue or look online and say, oh shit, we've sold 50 tickets, we've sold 70 tickets, we've sold 100 tickets, compared to, there's 10 tickets have been sold, or let's see how many people come through the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you're going to get those people through the door, but it's like, gives you that extra boost when you're like, shit, we're going to be playing to, at least 100 people tonight.
And also,
I think it's a good room to play for.
it works out cheaper generally to buy it in advance too.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's
usually
cheaper
$5 cheaper or something normally, isn't it? Usually, it's
normally.
$5 difference. And $5 is $5. Like,
It's a coffee.
Yeah, that's literally a coffee. That's terrible.
Sometimes it can even be more depending on the band or the artist. Like, I've been to somewhere the door has actually been $10 to $12 more than the pre-sale. I'm like, and you think $12 saving, that's almost a beer. Well,
Yeah.
at least
It's almost a
pot of
ticket to
beer.
another show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but like again, any support that we can get and anybody who wants to come out and have fun, that's just what it's all about, really. Like, someone like yourself who comes and supports everyone in the scene, you don't discriminate when it comes to any band. You're there for everybody. So that's, what I mean, which is a pretty amazing thing. And the more people we can get to come out and reach out to others and things like that, and just like Luke said, it's not about money or any shit like that. It's just everyone having fun, seeing happy faces, dancing around, two-stepping, not hurting themselves, but hurting themselves, whatever. Having fun.
But also another thing, just to end on, is also not just go to the show, but actually go up to the band that's playing at the show after their set, because I think that's as important as anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love having when people come up to us and have a chat. It's like, we're not there to try and be, these big characters that you can't come and say hello to. We're just, we're there for a good time as well. So it's like, we want to have that interaction and meet the people, because it's like, we're not only the band, but we're also the people behind the band. And, we want to have that interaction with everybody out around us as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, very, very sound and important. If you're listening to this, if you've listened to my shit for the last hour and a half and you got this far.
Listen to our shit as well.
Oh, none of it's been shit. It's been entertaining. But I'm thinking, because it's a Tuesday night and I reckon these guys probably have work very early in the morning, I think we should probably wrap this up.
Appreciate it so much, honestly. It's been a pleasure.
No,
Thanks for having us, Sam.
We're always happy to come back.
Yep. I'd have All Monsters Are Human on. I'd have Joe and Kai on if they're around next time. I'd have, Ben, Luca, and Jason on again as well.
Yeah. Even all of us at one time. That's a real party.
That'll be a real podcast.
That might go even longer than this one.
We'll come to Warrigal first. We'll come to
Warrigal.
In person.
All five of us.
I've yet to do that on the WebEx. I've had 3. So the second band I've had 3 people on. So, but I get the feeling one of the next 2 is going to be 4. I'm like, oh, that's going to be a test.
Yeah. The more people, it's hard. We spoke about it beforehand of we've got to try not to talk over each other and just kind of, and then we just spoke over each other anyway. I just started talking shit anyway, so I'll disregard it.
We tried to plan it and be polite, but we get in the moment, we all just start talking crap, and
Ben fucked it up.
as per usual.
Oh man. All right, well, it's a sad part of the interview, but it's been an absolute fucking blast, as all these episodes have been. I'll upload the episode either tomorrow or Thursday. I'll upload the Spotify playlist with all 3 All Monsters Are Human songs on my news feed. This will be up on YouTube news feed. Share it, watch it, listen to me talk shit. Anything like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, Sam.
No worries, guys. Well, Ben, Luca, and Jason, it's been an absolute pleasure from All Monsters Are Human, and we'll chat again soon.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Sammy.
No worries.
Metal!